Sometimes you just have to climb up a waterfall. Don't be weird. You got it? Yeah. You recording?
I guess there's only one way to start it is to start it, right?
We were in a bus crash.
Yep. June 16th is when it happened, which was Allie's birthday.
Yeah. My birthday started off awesome. She made me birthday pancakes and coffee, and then we went paddleboarding at this place called Castle Lake, which has like a little waterfall in it, so we were like hanging out. And then we were gonna go down this 3-tier waterfall called McLeod Falls.
Yeah.
And we did not make it.
Universe had other plans, apparently. Bus uses air brakes. And so when you hear me talking about PSI here in a second, it's the amount of pressure built up. You typically want to have about 120 PSI for air brakes to work, and it uses the air compression to actually brake. We were on our way down this really steep hill. We actually got down pretty far. We started losing PSI right before that curve. And then on that curve, I felt the brakes go down too far. Yeah. And we ended up finding out later was like a 200-foot drop-off. I started noticing that we didn't have any brakes anymore. It was about, I think, a 25 mile an hour.
Yeah, it was 25 mile an hour curve, and then like it's pretty sharp. So as soon as you get around it, we see the next one. Like I keep saying 50 yards. It was way closer than that. I think looking at the videos now, like in my gut. I mean, not even in my gut. Common sense knew we weren't going to make it around that next curve.
Yeah. So that first curve, before we even made it all the way around, for one, I was like beeping, obviously, because I didn't want to chance anybody. I was trying to warn if there was anybody on the other side of that. I obviously wanted to try to give them any advance notice whatsoever.
It's also blind. It's
you can't see. So I was just beeping my horn. That pedal went to that floor on that curve. We barely made it around that curve. It's so steep that with no brakes at all, we were just gaining more momentum. I know going around that curve, we were already at 35 or 40. So that's the last time I looked at the speedometer, because I was more concerned with, okay, we've got to come up with a game plan, because there's no way that we're going to make this like 15 mile an hour curve. I started just trying to, in my head, like figure out the next course of action in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I was sitting, we have like a little bench seat that we built. I was sitting right next to her, like how exactly in the way we were sitting now. And I had my little dog, and she's right over there asleep. I had her in my arms, and I was just holding her, and I was just like, we're not going to make it. Like, and I just kept saying, baby, 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 baby. And I saw her, she was silent, and she just looked at the keys, grabbed them, went to turn it off, didn't. And then, like, I don't know.
I tried the brakes one more time.
Yeah, and then right before impact, it was multiple.
Multiple impacts.
She shut the engine off, like, right as we're starting to go over the double yellow.
I knew there was nothing else. There was nothing else that I could do with no brakes at all. The air pressure was not building back up at all. And
even if it did, like, there was no way we were going to make it. We were already going too fast. Once we crossed the double yellow line, went into the shoulder, there was a dirt mound where, like, the snow plow had plowed snow. So we hit that mound. It was like a couple feet probably. My car caught air. You see my car's tire tracks, then you don't, and then you do like 15 feet away. A big tree stump. It was about 3 to 4 feet wide. Somebody had cut down, thankfully, which we find out later who, but we'll let you know. But car, I'm sure, catches air again. It's on a tow dolly, so it's not being towed on all 4 wheels. The 2 front wheels are up, and locked onto it, like strapped onto a tow dolly. So the bus doors, they fly open, and one of those bumps, I end up flying off my seat onto the floor, and the doors are open and everything's flying out. Like things from the middle of the bus flew out. There was just a debris field, and I have little Dory in my arm, and I have the rail originally, but then Anne grabs my hand. So now I have Anne's hand and like this, and Dory in my arm, and she's driving. Trees. And my backside is literally hanging out the door. Like I have a line from the platform of like the door frame, bruise on my ass from the door.
I have marks from the steering wheel, bruises from the steering wheel on my thigh from where I was like leaned, I guess.
But somehow she kept me in the bus, and I managed to keep hold of little Dory.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Which is the reason you can hear her screaming in the video, is because the doors flew open and she was hanging. Yeah, hanging
out. And like the doors, the trees were hitting the doors. The doors are bent. They did not shatter, luckily.
Some good windows.
But the metal on the frame of them bent, and they're hard to close now. The dogs rode it out.
Yeah, the Huskies, so they were both on the tattoo table. Somehow the tattoo table didn't move at all. It was cushioned too, so like that I'm sure helped. They didn't get hurt. All the animals ended up being fine. Audrey hid under the bed.
She did run away for an hour, but she ended up coming back and letting me pick her up. Actually, she was pretty shaken up. But I mean, everybody's okay. You see little Dory's over there sleeping. So, but as far as damages, my car flew in the air. So that, getting checked out, and the bumper did get ripped off halfway. So it's just hanging there. I did manage to start it, and my friend held the bumper, or as she called it, my skirt, while I drove out of the forest. So it did start. Sounded really rough.
Yeah.
But I mean, what?
As far as the bus damages, on the outside, there were some trees wedged underneath there, like a bit of the trunk of the tree and the roots that were in between the dualies on the driver's side and the back.
Somehow, I'm sorry, you managed to break the tree not only in half, but uproot the entire root system of the tree.
Yeah.
We had about six. It was just like thump, 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 like. So loud.
And the trees luckily sort of went like when the bumper, because that steel bumper is what really saved a lot of the bus. Most of the time the trees just flew off to the side after they got hit, except for like the last 3 that we hit. The last like 2.5 or 3 trees ended up being wedged underneath the bus somehow.
But that stopped us.
But driver's side is where that last like big tree that like part of the root was wedged in the dualies. That's the one that actually, it bent the steel bumper into the wheel on the driver's side, the front driver's side.
But it didn't pop it.
Somehow.
It just bent into it. It did. There is a large chunk, like, yay big, missing out. And, like, it's fairly deep. So that needs to be replaced. Headlights, one just said, screw this, I'm out. Jump ship. It completely unplugged itself and left the scene of the crime.
Good, and what holds the headlights in and everything is all one big piece that like you fold down to get to the engine. So we're gonna have to replace the entire thing because it's all fiberglass. It's demolished. We had previously tried to patch up another part of the hood.
Yeah, like I mean, like we used sheet metal and screws before. There's nothing left to screw it in. It's just disintegrated.
Yeah.
Like, on impact.
Pieces of it were laying about.
One light on the bus works for brakes, reverse, and tail light. Right? It's just the back driver's light has been untouched, but every other light done. For the inside of the bus, it's just thrashed.
We don't even know everything that's going to have to be replaced. There's a lot to do. We appreciate you watching the video.
And we're gonna put the GoFundMe in the description.
Yeah, if you feel inclined to help out, we would greatly appreciate it. Even if it's just sharing the video, watching it, liking it, anything like that is helpful right now. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, that'll help the YouTube channel. Even that helps. It doesn't have to be financially, but we really do appreciate it. Anyway,
so figured we'd share it with everybody on here since nobody really knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And we will get back to the regular videos as soon as we can. Right now, the next couple are probably going to be update videos on what's going on with the bus and with the car, and whereabouts we're going to be traveling to. Because obviously, sadly, the tattooing is not going to happen for a minute until we get the front room ready to go and the bus ready, livable again. So
it's stressful to think about.
Yeah, but thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we're gonna see you with updates as soon as we can.
And a redo birthday party.
Love you all. Take care. And we're gonna see you soon. Okay.